What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? I hope you're having a great morning. I've got some data that might back up that Luna Classic is a lot better off than you or even I might think. I'm going to show it to you. It's very simple. I didn't even consider it until just recently because I was really looking for, what's the positive spin? And for a positive spin on a crypto, then what you really need to do is you need to have a comparison. You have to have a litmus test, if you will, on whether or not there's some parity and whether or not there's some opportunity. So if you like this type of content, hit the like button on the way in. Is Luna Classic to $1 even possible at this point? And the answer to that, to me, I don't think right now it's not possible. And the reason is actually very, very simple. Make sure you hit that like button. All right, so my idea was to give you a kind of a breakdown here, but LUNC doesn't appear to be working at this moment. Looks like it's not collating, or it's taking a very long time to pull data. But the point that I was going to show you was just the Luna Classic wallet. The Luna Classic wallet with Binance has over 2 trillion tokens. So in the end, if we were to burn everything in your and my wallets, then we'd still have over 2 trillion tokens, which means we need at least a 2 trillion market cap to get to $1. So it's prohibitive at this point. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, if that happens, then people would be moving their crypto off of Binance as well, and there would be a cycle, and there would be, but we would still have 2 trillion at the end because Binance wouldn't make that move all at once. So if we were able to do just some crazy massive burn, it wouldn't get us where we need to be. Doesn't mean that we can't get there. So here's what I did. I looked up Bitcoin to Luna Classic pairing, which I think is an important statistic for us to consider. For the day, the pairing is positive for Luna Classic. For the 7 days, the comparison is positive for Luna Classic to Bitcoin. For the 1 month, it's also very positive compared to Bitcoin. And guys, listen, Bitcoin's trading at or near, we'll call it 85,000 today, but not that long ago, 109,000. We are in the cut of this massive bull run surge. And you can see the pairing and the favorability rate down here at the bottom, where you just see that Luna Classic seems to be catching up to Bitcoin in terms of value. And over the 1 year, does not look nearly as attractive. But if we were to look at this on trading and we were to get kind of an idea, then we would see that there's been an upturn. This has been some downward momentum. And you see we had that positive pressure way back in the day. And then we had that spike right here. And then we've started to reverse. Now, when I zoom in over here, you can't see it until you start to move in. But since it looks like February 24th, we've had a reversal where our favorability against Bitcoin is starting to rise. Now, let's come over here and let's say if we start at the beginning of February, then guess what? It's also continuing to rise. So here's February 1st. Then it moves on, get a little bit of a dip, and then boom, we start to get a favorable pairing, and then we're getting a more favorable pairing. Now, what that means to me is that we're in the cusp of altcoin season. If we get a few more fundamentals out of the way, if we get a little more favorability with Solana, with Ethereum, things like that, then guess what? We're right here where it looks like the markets are starting to turn. And by turn, I don't mean super pumping. I mean that money is coming out of Bitcoin slowly and going into alts slowly. People are recognizing, or people are setting themselves up for an altcoin season. So what does that mean? So what that means most likely is a continuation of this pump. You can see, now we haven't completed this move. I want to stress that right now. I don't know how this is going to play out, but it looks like we had a nice little reversal. Now we had this big wick right here, and we had the big move up here. Then we had this crash down right again, and then we have this big wick right here signifying a reversal of trend. So what we've got is, and by the way, this is downward momentum. You see that, it's very, very clear. This upward trend right here wasn't sustained, came back down here. So now when we look at it this way, it's not exactly, this is, it's still downward momentum, but barely. That should mean that there's a reversal of trend. Same thing over here. Maybe there's a little bit of a reversal of trend, or at least let's call it a double bottom at this. Wow, because we've got this bottom here, we've got this bottom here. Maybe that double bottom is exactly what we've been looking for long term to get started with momentum. So let's go back again here. This, and then we've got this right here, which means that we are in a really good uptrend. Now, what I would like to see for that to happen is there's a kind of a trend line here. I would like to see it move up here into this range right here, maybe even get to the dropping a zero area or that 200 MA at least, which is about 94 rate. Then a bounce back down here for confirmation and then another move back up. That would probably be the healthiest look, because if we get a parabolic move, if we get, a move from where we are right now all the way up to the top of this trend line, we're going to crash back hard, because that's new money entering the arena. And anytime new money enters the arena and it's not genuine, it's not because of some fundamental money-making opportunity. If it's not that, then what it is a FOMO pump, and a FOMO pump dumps right after. So once you've established what it is, and if it is in fact a FOMO pump, then that's what we're going to be looking for. We're going to be looking for a sustained sort of move, hopefully. And by the way, it's a very aggressive trend line, so I don't know that's certainly not going to be sustained, but it also could lead to a breakout. So there you are. That's what could be happening right now. Now, again, I'm not telling you that it's going up 10, 20, 30x at this point. I'm just telling you that we need to fulfill that move right there to the top of this trend line and extract maximum value into your wallet so that you feel more comfortable holding for a longer period of time, because you want to see that price. Nothing new in the Commonwealth, by the way, so we're not going to cover that today. But from now until March 2nd, you can win $4,000 playing Multiplier Rumble at TerraCasino. Starting March 3rd, you can win $59.50. I don't know what that magic number is. I don't know what it is, but you can do that in a partnership with Evolution Gaming, the Daily Lightning Tournament. Click right there for more information. Go to terracasino.io. Also, Fish Trophy you can play right now, sponsored by TerraCasino and Red Tiger. And you know that this is the #1 place, or one of the top 10 places to burn your Luna Classic, but it's also right now, burning Terra. Terra is a valuable crypto for this ecosystem. Why? Because that is the fuel that runs TerraPort. If you're looking to trade meme coins, TerraPort is your place to go. If you're looking for utility coins like Garuda X, like Juris, TerraPort is your place to go. So if you haven't already, at least consider making a move and checking these out. All right, so our basic meme coin index, there's not really very much that's there's nothing really moving along in here, so there's not really too much to go over. Hoping to see a little bit of a surge. We've really extracted a lot of downward momentum value out of the market, so a good reversal would be very interesting. Now, if you look around, you'll notice like 0% increases and stuff like that, because CoinHall is upgrading. I would assume at this point, because we just upgraded to 3.4.0, that they're having to upgrade as well, and they have not as of right now, because they appear to be kind of broken. We're not seeing whatever movement I would have expected to see. We're just not seeing from it right now. 2 days ago, it wouldn't populate your wallet. Today, it populates your wallet, but you don't get any of the percentages. So I think they're working on fixing it. We'll know pretty. All right, so the freezing of the assets 2 days out doesn't look like it's going to pass. Again, I would encourage you to validate with the people who support your belief system. If your belief system is that it's immutable and you can't change it, and you support people scamming other people, if that's what you do, then, and by the way, you can do that. It's an open, whatever. Validate with those people. If you and those people be like Jesus is Lord. They support the ability of scammers to scam you. They support that if even a developer steals, then it's cool. It's okay. And that's weird to me. But if you like that, Jesus is Lord, validate with him. Or Community First, LUNC, TDR System, Compound, Alpine Digital, Moonrunner, whoever, whatever. If you're just on the sidelines for most of it, maybe Interstellar Lounge is your pace. If it's yes, then Juris Protocol, who's building a lending institution for you on this blockchain, Vegas Node, Burn It All, Terra Classic by Lunanauts, BL Nodes, vote your conscience, and then you vote as well. Also, the development proposal for enabling the wallet whitelisting, as you see right here, and this is where I get into it. And you guys should know. Look, I have an opinion about everything, of course, but there's nothing that tells me you're getting scammed more than a person who's voting yes after saying immutability. You cannot change the immutability of the blockchain. Now, the immutability of the blockchain is if we say there's a tax, well, there's a tax, right? That's the immutability of the chain. Whatever we set up, that's the business that you do. However, this guy's voting, he's not voting yes to changing and enabling wallet whitelist. What's that do? Now, that is for the benefit of the community. So I'm happy to see Jesus is Lord voting to benefit the community, okay? That's important. But at the end of the day, that just means that their values are such that they prefer to keep you down because they're voting against your interest to burn or block some token. They're voting against your interest constantly, and they're voting against their own conscience. Immutable is immutable. Now they're trying to mute some. So guys, we all need a little LUNC rock and roll. That's all I'm saying. You guys should figure this out for yourself. Now back to the chart. I did want to cover USTC for a second because I think it's also doing what I said before. It's fulfilling this move. We seem to be in that positive sort of trend again. I don't know if it's maintained. I don't know if it's sustained. US market is coming online at the time of recording this. Overnight, the markets had pumped pretty significantly. If you kind of zoom out here and get an idea of what went on over the last couple of hours, you can see we had that, we just kind of bottomed out, and now we're having that little recovery. Now, zoom out, looks a little different when you look at it from this context, and you say like over the last bunch of hours, this is kind of what it's looked like as we've come from way up here to down here. And, really, it's been the last couple of days. You had that dump, and then you had that consolidate, and you had the dump, and you had the double test over here, that little trap that you got, and then boom, you had this right here, and now you've had this move right here. And the question is, are we going to bounce or are we not? Zoom out, then, I've told you that I think this is our bottom over here, and there was a reason for it. It was because it was the tip of this last surge right there before we broke out. So it came back down there for a test. It looks like it got accepted, and now the question is, will it bounce strong and start to go up there? Did we attract enough new investors? And guys, I know some of you have said to me, like, why are you talking about Bitcoin or total market cap and stuff like that when this is a LUNC show? Well, because they're all tied together, and it's important because the liquidity coming back in the market is what makes the difference. So a strong bounce off of this fundamentally means we're going to get a strong bounce for Luna Classic as well and USTC as well. So back to USTC. Again, upward momentum, so I think it fulfills this move up here. The one that I'm interested in is the move all the way up to this trend line right here, which establishes somewhere in the range of about 6 cents, which is a 4x from where we are currently. And I think that would be just a grand move at this point. Like, I think that would be just a really, really big surge. Like, in my opinion, this is probably, and in fact, if you just kind of zoom out here, just to get an idea, okay? We're kind of close to that bottom over there. We're close enough to this range right here, under 2 cents, that I would be comfortable entering a fairly large position here. Now, I would normally not tell you that in the middle of a move here, and as you can see, we're in between. We're like halfway in between on this pennant pattern that seems to be playing out. So I would never really tell you to enter a position right here, but I am convinced that we're in the bull run, and I'm convinced that we're probably headed at least up here and then probably up here for some kind of retest, because there's just too much interesting information coming out on USTC, and fundamentally at any point we could just explosion. Now, again, I'm not telling you that USTC would be my main investment at all. There's too much risk involved, but there's a lot of people right now working on creating a reason for USTC to surge. So I would suspect that we're probably be that payoff when you least expect it. And like right now would be the moment where you least expect it because the market pressure has been coming down. So there's a great time for a real pop-off moment for USTC and Luna Classic, but primarily USTC feels like it's got a little bit more motivation at this point. Again, I'm not bullish on it in any way, but I do think there's an opportunity there. I hope that makes sense. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you that I feel comfortable with USTC right now having a big surge. And by the way, during this, we're down below the medium level of the RSI. So again, I think that surge boom leads to boom right here. And then whether or not we can cook a little higher and get up like this is whether or not we make that move right there. So that's what I'm looking to see happen. Now, let's also kind of zero out and say, well, what happened ultimately when we got this last move down here to the bottom, right? Well, down here to the bottom, we got to the bottom, and then what happened all the way up to the top, right? So what happened when we came down here? we're now making our way back. And again, the top is going to play out. So I'm really comfortable that USTC is going to continue pump. Volume is down a little bit. Market cap is up. Volume is up. Market cap is up. I like that. I like that pairing. Again, I like the pairing at this moment, not overall, but at this moment. As far as burns go, we had 35 million burn yesterday. We got 33 million burn today. Not significant, but we did have 116,000 USTC burn yesterday, and not a whole lot today. Seems like the market is really into Bitcoin, by the way. Just, again, not to talk about it too much. We got $53 billion in capital inflow coming in, and you see Bitcoin is absolutely surging right now. Now, on my chart over here, you see Solana is also getting a little bit of a surge. And then down here, you see like Fiat and Devi, but those are micro caps at this point. So for them to move a lot, or 5, 6, 7%, that's easy, right? Doge 3%, Aptos 5%. Ether, I think maybe they would call it Ether. It's all-time high, but it's up like 10% on the day. So there's some things that are starting to move, but again, smaller caps. The bigger caps, Bitcoin seems to be in charge for the day. Solana having a good run as well, but Solana was really oversold, so it should be strong. What I'm really looking for to really get a kick, okay, to really get the kickoff that we absolutely need, it's right here. It's Ethereum. If Ethereum pops, money from Ethereum, speculative money will flow from Ethereum into Luna Classic, and it will be mega. So that's what I'm waiting for. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think I'm right? Do you think that there's some kind of other mechanism here in which an altcoin season begins? Because we need an altcoin season for Luna Classic to really start to take off and to find the maximum value for this blockchain going forward. So unless we get into that altcoin season, we're not going to find that, okay? So that's what I think. I do think, by the way, that another big move and surge is coming for Ethereum, but I don't know. I've been waiting for it for a long time, The fundamentals, by the way, fundamentally speaking, this entire altcoin season should have already happened, okay? But the ETF and the amount of interest in Bitcoin from the ETF has created a different paradigm in the market. And then the million or so meme coins that pump every month, they're extracting a little bit of liquidity each and every time, because it's, when they flatline, they leave a little bit of money in there, and that money's coming out of the trading of the market, but it's still in the market cap. So you're seeing a lot of dead money showing up in the market that you did not see before because of all these pump and dump schemes. But it looks like we're turning to fundamentals finally. So maybe, just maybe, this is the moment where things start to take off. It's going to take a while, but see, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right.